So long story short, I was introduced to this megachurch pastor several years ago. I won't say where or who because I'm not trying to get people in trouble. For those of you who haven't heard of David Taylor, first of all, you're actually blessed. Second of all, better clutch onto your prayers because we're just gonna go through the deposition highlights. Oh yes, he was deposed, and it was everything. So there was actually 7 hours of deposition footage. We're not doing all that unless I was like, I don't know, a Twitch streamer or something like that, and y'all really wanted it to happen. But we're just doing the highlights.
All right, so
Not
what is
really.
this residential center?
Oh, this is a place that the ministry owns. Well, not own. We're in the process of buying that. Yeah, we don't
So are
own
you
it yet.
renting to buy?
You know, look, I don't know much about nothing, but I ain't never seen a private home to have to be purchased in order to further the gospel. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just keep going.
You have that as an asset of 2,844,500. So do you own it?
I just answered that, didn't I? I said we didn't own it.
I know, I'm sorry, I apologize. But there's just something about the way how people respond to certain questions where you know without a shadow of a doubt, they did something wrong. Anyways, innocent before proven guilty, of course. But okay.
Okay,
We're
but
leasing to
where
buy
does
it.
the, I'm sorry?
We're leasing to buy it. Did you? I thought we just said that.
All right, but
Yeah.
you have listed it as an asset worth $2,844,000.
Oh, that should be more of a liability.
All right, so where does the number 2,844,000 come from on your
That's the
asset and liability?
That's, I guess, the appraisal value of the home.
Ma'am. All I know is if you're trying to act slick about spending anything more than like $1,000, you don't really have all the details. I'm just saying God don't like liars.
Okay, and what goes on at the residential center?
It is really it's a gathering place for our ministry where I bring in different leaders and also the staff that we have as a place of maybe resort and teaching and training.
Resort?
Yeah, teaching.
Exactly. A place of resort for only our more expensive, holiest clients. Like, come on, dude. This is so good. Like, and then I hate his eyebrows. They're really giving me like angry me vibes, and I don't like that. But we don't have to talk about his hairline. That's genetic. But
A resort where we teach and train.
let me tell you something right now. If that was the resort center, no one will be learning anything there.
On November 29th, 2013, JMMI paid over $6,000 to Louis Vuitton.
What holy roller credit card do you have to make that happen?
What would that be for?
Well, this is for clothes concerning my TV ministry as well.
You gotta dress the best for the Lord. We all know this.
Or you have to wear Louis Vuitton?
Oh, it don't matter what name it is. The point is clothing are allocated to us.
Do you hear that soft-spoken BS that for a ministry? Ooh. If that's not a class A manipulator or someone that at least tries to be, run.
For ministry purposes as well.
What do you mean they're allocated to you?
In a media ministry.
In a what?
Media ministry.
Yeah.
Okay, or on the road when I'm always traveling and using my clothes, I'm sweating through them.
Well, I wish I could put that on the prayer card to get some Louis Vuitton. Are you kidding me? Sweating through clothes?
So I'm needing new clothes also for television ministry.
Just say you got big bottom syndrome, okay? Just say that. Just say you got a BMI over 40. We understand. Just make it medical. You don't have to say just sweating through them. Just say I got hyperwaterchondria. I don't know. Make it up, but come on now.
Through the years, so
And so you used ministry money to buy your wardrobe.
outfit.
Your
It's it's allocated more towards ministry apparel.
Ministry apparel? That seems like some weird, like pilgrim branded attire. Ministry apparel. All the longest skirts and densest button-ups. Ministry apparel. Got it.
I don't know what that means.
It don't belong there. That's out of place.
What's out of place?
You don't get taxed on things like that.
Okay, first of all, I can't be too mean because that sounds like exactly something I would say. What? You get taxed on luxury goods? That doesn't seem right. No. No. It's like the same thing as like buying an Apple, you know, get taxed for that.
That's for ministry business purpose.
Amen.
So it's not,
Louis Vuitton.
well, you can call whatever you want.
So June 2014, you spent $3,500 by JMMI to Versace in the Bahamas.
We already know what's wrong with that anyways.
If it shows there.
And that was for clothing for you?
Yes, probably. Yes, most likely.
So you don't see that there's any problem when you're ministering to the poor, the sick, the needy, to be appearing in Louis Vuitton and Versace?
Well, that ain't something I purchase all the time.
Well, it looks like you did several times in...
I mean, I'm a very frugal person when it comes to this.
Ooh.
I go to the right places to get a lot of
Did you
suits.
just say frugal in the same context as Versace? I can't. See, this is why televangelists, they always gather me together because it's like, they always say something funny. They always say something funny. When you least expect, they always say something funny.
And if I get some from those places, you don't see that.
I don't see Macy's.
No, you don't see that, because Macy's don't have the kind of suits that I
They
wear.
don't have the holy roller suits. I mean, come on now. They don't have the ministry apparel for business, church, media appearances. Duh.
But what I'm saying is, these Louis Vuitton things, you don't see that in our charges all the time.
2013 and 14, JMMI spent over $30,000 in your clothes. Does that sound about right?
What year was that?
13 and 14?
Oh God, yes, because I was traveling so much and sweating through all my clothes. Exactly. That probably wasn't enough because just have so...
But they have to be top-of-the-line expensive ones.
No, they're not top-of-the-line clothes.
Louis
actually.
Vuitton's not?
Look, I know I've seen this before, but hearing the numbers still is shocking to me. And like, how much sweating does a person have to do? That's undiagnosed, right? He has not mentioned he has a condition. So I'm fully going in on this man. An undiagnosed sweating condition to go through $30,000 worth of clothes. And then on top of that, are we just buying new stuff? Like every time he takes off a suit, he throws it, he just gets a new one. Like we're not even trying to go to the cleaners. Amen.
Top of the line?
Those not where I get my suits from.
Well, you got something from them
yeah.
Spent thousands and thousands.
Well, the belts are more lasting, so that's good.
That's where the frugal part comes in. Big brain.
The things that I invest in will last longer, like such as belts.
So you got to go
or
to
shoes.
Gucci or places like that.
Well, no, I buy those things from there because they have a better TV appearance for the belt.
For
and
asking for money
shoe.
from the poor?
No, it's
You paid $1,000 to Monsieur Clothing in New York.
Okay, I ain't gonna lie, $1,000 in New York, I feel like that's kind of like what you're supposed to, I feel like that's like bargain prices. I don't know, I ain't from New York.
And then another $715. Whose clothing was that for?
Where's that now? I don't understand.
August 1st, and October 28th.
See that lip biting? When people lip bite like that, I mean, like I do it too, out of boredom and sometimes because I forget to wear my Fenty Beauty. But this one right here, that's a tell. He be lying on himself and he don't even know. Check this out. Oh, I should have worn this earlier. Look how good I look. Anyways.
Total of over $1,700 to Monsieur Clothing in New York.
I'm not. I don't know.
Mine got on TV.
All right, you testified at your last deposition that JMMI owns 3 vehicles, a BMW, a Mercedes, and a Bentley.
Yes.
Have you driven those cars?
Yes.
This is Michelle?
Ooh, who's
No.
Michelle? We'll find out in a second.
We usually have a driver.
Wait a second. Honestly, he's living the lifestyle that I would like to live, just not the whole scamming people for money part to get that money. You know what I'm saying? So, but I live for a driver.
Dear one, I don't show place to people, and I'm not
Well,
in
Bentley.
that car. You don't see me driving around in that car every day. I don't do that.
But it's in
You
the
know.
ministry. Everybody
No.
in the ministry sees you. You said you drive it.
I haven't before. You just asked me have I drove it, but it ain't something I drive every day or even every year. I don't.
It's not something that I drive every day or every year because my driver does the driving. I just sit in the back seat. That's all you have to say, man.
Don't do that. I have drivers who pick up my guests,
Okay.
my high-profile guests. No,
But do you see my point that people that are suffering and giving you whatever their last dime is and donations and drug habits, to have them see you drive around your high-profile guests in a Bentley or Mercedes might be offensive and hurtful even.
It could be offensive if they didn't know my life, but they know
Oh.
my life. It would be offensive to someone like you who's trying to make it bad, but
Not him throwing it back onto the lawyer. It might be offensive to you for somebody that doesn't own 3 luxury cars with drivers that driving them every day. Oh, he's an asshole.
A Land Rover that you leased.
Range Rover.
Range Rover,
Yes, it's not a Land Rover, it's a Range Rover.
which is the better one. I
You
don't
better
even know.
not mix up them luxury cars. God don't like stupid.
I don't know. They're just cars, so.
All right, then there's a series of documents that total almost $50,000 to Limo Land in 2013 and 14. You have to answer yes instead
Yes,
of- Okay, what was that for?
That was to cut the Mercedes into a limo.
It was to cut the Mercedes.
Into a limo.
Well, now that I think about it, I mean, it's kind of like when Jesus was escorted into Jerusalem on a donkey, the least of the animals. Yeah, a Mercedes that was transmutated into a limo. That compares. That makes sense to me. Got it.
And who needs that?
No, that's for guests.
It's for guests and for you
Oh, okay.
It's mostly
when
for
you're
guests. entertaining
guests.
Yes.
When you're entertaining.
Well, I'm not. When we have guests come in, high-profile people, we
Wait. But for the low-profile people, y'all get the Toyota Yaris. Y'all get the 1998 Toyota Corolla. Y'all get the hoopty. In the name of the Lord.
You have to have a
treat them
limo.
that way. Don't have to have a limo, but
In a
we-
Mercedes limo.
we treat them.
You treat them?
I said that we have hospitality. Maybe that's a better word.
Okay, then.
And this is not the first one the ministry's had. We
Oh,
had
not the
another
first.
Mercedes limousine. Yes, right. So
I feel like he just told on himself, oh, this wasn't the first cookie I stole from the cookie jar, just so you know. Okay.
So you paid Limo Land almost $50,000 total,
Almost 50,000
and that was
To cut
for what? To make a limo.
to cut the Mercedes into a limo.
Look, not saying I wouldn't have done the same thing if I had the resources. And if I don't know, if I had places to be that required a limo. But just hearing it from a pastor, I mean, come on now, folks. You know that sounds weird.
And
And
you
it
think that
became-
was a good use
Plus it's
of
fraudulent.
the money that people donated to you?
The way how he
in
did it.
JMMI?
Well, I mean, the banks certainly have looked at that on our books as good because it has an appraisal value of almost 200K, a little over 150,000.
The surplus goes to the Lord. But you can't get the surplus without the initial investment. That's what he's trying to say.
So, but you got this from donations, and you decided to use it to make a limo.
We really invested really good. The banks
No,
really
I'm just
think
asking
that.
if that's what you did.
No, not the way you're saying it. It's you're fortifying, forging.
I'm forging.
For a man that speaks for a living, his choice of words are hilarious.
With your mouth,
Then
yeah.
just the question is,
Okay.
did you use the money for the purpose?
No.
The answer is yes.
So,
In June of 2013, there's over $6,000 worth of charges for the Disney Resort Hotel in Anaheim, California.
First of all, that's like a 3-day weekend at Disneyland. That place is expensive.
Do you remember that?
yes.
And did you go?
Yes, I was there.
Does JMMI pay any of your auto expenses?
Yes.
And how much?
Auto expenses, I wouldn't know exactly how much.
You don't know how much you get?
I mean, think about it. You got a Mercedes limo, you have a Range Rover, and you have a Bentley. Those are gas guzzling vehicles. But what's the price on oil when God made the soil? You know what I'm saying? Okay.
No.
Who
The
would
board
know?
takes care of that.
Who's the board?
You can ask Michelle. She's another person to refer to.
What about your housing? Does JMMI pay any of that?
Yes.
You get a housing allowance?
Yes.
But I wonder what housing, because the ministry resort that we saw was for distinguished guests for the purposes of teaching and training in Bible stuff. So I'm wondering where he lives.
And how much is that?
I'm not sure.
And do you report these allowances as compensation on your tax return?
Honestly, I don't know how all that work. I have other people who do that, so you can refer to Michelle.
He's busy, okay? He has other people to do this for him. I would have an accountant too, but you know, maybe the way how I make my money would not be as nefarious.
On that.
Michelle does your taxes?
No, I have other people do it, but she's over a lot of that, the financial aspect.
When you say it's up to the board, now the board includes Michelle,
Yes.
you,
Yes.
and who else?
I'm not sure. You can ask Michelle.
You don't know who's on the board?
Totally. I would rather.
So the people who are on the board, the JMMI board, who control the money, also happen to be the recipients of the money as well. Now, this is not like a private business or something like that where the CEOs are cutting holiday bonuses by like the millions of dollars. This is a church. This is supposed to be classified as a church, which for tax purposes would make everything that you do different. So, the fact that they're kind of operating a church like a private business is a little,
You get the accurate information, because I don't want to be accused of answering falsely, like I have been other times when I've tried to guess. So I just rather I'm telling
You know, it is against the Lord to bear false witness, so he's onto something.
you I don't know. Just ask her.
How
She'll
many
let you know.
people are on the board?
Don't know. Just
You don't know?
No.
Don't you have to have board meetings?
Yes, we do have board meetings.
So can you count around the table how many people there are?
Well, our board also grows at the same time, so I just rather you just get that information somewhere.
I mean, I don't know if you knew this, but the 11th commandment is apparently, thou shalt ask Michelle and or the board, because he doesn't know anything.
Last time you had a board meeting was when?
So on the phone, I think it's been the beginning of the year in January. Can't exactly tell the date, but
It was on the phone?
yeah. I have never been to court for no criminal charges.
Whoa. So I decided to end my reaction there because he started talking about child court things and whatever, and that wasn't the point of this video. But if you want to see the highlight reels, I will definitely put that in the description below. And of course, there are over 7 hours of footage. So if you're looking for a long time and not a good time, you can find that on YouTube as well. And that is that. Now, of course, like I said, there is over 7 hours of this stuff, but look, I can dedicate my time to a many of things, but 7 hours of that, you gotta pay me. Okay. Yeah. There's a Spider-Man room I'm gonna kill real quick. But anyways, people can like their TV pastors and all that. I'm not trying to come for you. That's how you like to get your worship on. But it's just that, you know, sometimes the people are a little weird, and sometimes it's okay to question where you get the word from. And that's all. That's all this was for. And yeah, he's just a mess. And so will I be if this spider continues to terrorize me. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't care. And I'll see you in another video.